In previous videos, I talked about Big Bang Theory and how it proves the cosmological argument for God's existence. But does Qur'an actually have evidence or a discussion about Big Bang Theory or aspects of it? And yes, it does. There are two verses that clearly outline it. The first one is verse 30 from chapter 21 of Surah Anbiya of the Qur'an, where it says, "Do not the unbelievers see that the heavens and the earth were together, and we have clothed them asunder, and that we have created every living being from water? Will they not then believe?" It's a very interesting verse. And when scholars hundreds of years ago looked at this verse, they were puzzled. They could not imagine how heavens and earth were together and they were clothed asunder. And the Arabic word is fataknahum, which means separating two or not actually more than three entities, three or more entities. It comes in a plural form. So some scholars felt that they explained this verse saying, okay, the earth, we clearly see that there's a sky, the heaven, or the cosmos, and they seem to be separated by the line on the horizon, because that's what they knew at the time, and that's what they understood. But this is saying heavens, like plural, the whole entire universe and cosmos, and the earth, they were together. And then it was split apart. And this is exactly what Big Bang says. Actually, there is one scholar, Abu Muslim al-Isfahani, who died in 934. He actually saw it. He said, if there was nothing existing, then it cannot be separated. There must be something primordial atom or primordial matter that exists somewhere, and then that is split apart. And that is exactly what Big Bang says. Big Bang says that there was this primordial atom or tiny thing that first came into existence, and then from that, everything else separated. Basically, everything was together and then separated. And this is exactly the verse 30 of chapter 21 is saying. And it is addressing the non-believers and saying, will you then not believe? It's almost like talking to people of our time. The second verse in the Qur'an is verse 47 and chapter 51, chapter Fussilat, and it says, we have created the universe with power, and verily we are expanding it. Lamusiun is the key word there. And this expansion is very clearly, we are the one that are expanding it. And it comes in a present tense, which means we have expanded it before, we are expanding it now, and we will expand it in the future. So it's a continuous aspect of expansion. Again, this verse puzzled scholars who looked at it hundreds of years ago, because they did not understand an expanding universe concept. This was only proven in 1929. I made a video on did Big Bang really happen? Until 1929, everybody thought that universe existed forever and it was constant. It was just standing still. So it would have been impossible for Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, to postulate an idea of an expanding universe. Even when Einstein came up with his theory of relativity and published it in 1916, his theory predicted an expanding universe, and he thought, well, this is definitely not expanding, therefore I'm going to put a cosmological constant in the equation that will make it more stable. Later, in 1929, when Hubble proved that universe was expanding, Einstein said that was his biggest blunder, adding that cosmological constant. Actually, today, the cosmological constant is really there, because scientists have found that not only the universe is expanding, but its expansion is accelerating. That's very interesting finding. So there are two verses in the Quran. The first one, chapter 30, verse 30, chapter 21, which says that the whole heavens and the earth, the cosmos and earth was together and it was split asunder. That's clearly talking about that Big Bang happening. And the other verse is from verse 47, chapter 51, that talks about a universe being expanding. And I think this is quite extraordinary, two verses in the Quran that shows that supports a Big Bang from a theological ground. Thank you for watching, and do not forget to subscribe to the channel.